Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the trip. I am Gary, better known I am DWTT, Gary, better known then. But also I've got I guess we'll start. I do go a little anti-clockwise here, but I got my co-host here with me, Tony. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
All right, and then we've got my guest is Marley. How you doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Hope you guys are
Cool.
doing well too.
Cool. I've got this thing playing in my ears, so sorry. This is rookie Gary here. So welcome to the show. We'll take you on a little journey here. We're gonna go through a couple of things Arsenal base, and then we'll see where we go. I see Riddy has joined us. Hello, Riddy. Welcome to the show. Stephen is in the house. Hello, how are you doing? Yes, thank you for joining us during a live show. Perfect. I realized that I've been putting on my Twitter that the show starts at 11:30, 12:30 a.m. But daylight saving time has changed that. It's a little bit early for you guys on the UK. So hopefully you've been getting my Twitter tweets and get the times right there, or hopefully the notifications worked. So here we go. So we're gonna start with, and probably why not? Let's start with the last game that we just played on the road at Villa. As our Tony says, where were we playing?
I said Villa.
Where were we playing? What stadium is the name?
I can't remember.
Okay, I can't remember either. But I thought you knew this one, but I think it might have been a different team. But anyways, here we go.
It's Crystal Palace and Selhurst Park.
No, there you go. That's I got that in my head, so I was thinking I'll play around with that. But here we go. Yeah, so we talk about the game. We came in needing 3 points. Definitely needed 3 points with all that was going on, and having just lost to Liverpool. For me, it was an important game to win. I was okay with actually coming into that week to get, at most, I was okay with 4 points in the 3 games that we played in the 6 days. Once we won the first one, and the way we played in the second one, I was definitely thinking, you know what, why don't we get another win? That would be really nice. Even though 4, I would live with 4 based on the time period, but if we could get another 3 points, that would be nice, and that's what we did. So I was happy for that. I'll take the 3 points. I think the performance is probably still not where we want it to be, but I'll take the 3 points. So, Mr. Tom has joined us. Welcome to the show, Mr. Tom. And I guess I'll start with you, Marley. How did you feel about this game? Yeah.
I liked most of the performance. Just like you, I was really like the Liverpool game, and like whenever for a good like 3 or 4 seasons now, that Liverpool game is the one I'm the most scared of. I always think we're gonna get like absolutely just ridiculed, and this time that didn't happen. But I was worried about our really young squad, really young team with a really young manager. I was worried about that, like overcoming such a defeat because we usually lose like 4-0 to Liverpool. It was only a 2-0 defeat. We didn't even play that poorly in the first half. We played a good half against Liverpool, but then like it all went to crap in the second one. And against Villa, man, like they're a good side. I feel like he's a little overhyped, a little overrated. I don't think Villa's that good. Like I think they have a good team and they haven't been doing as well as people make them to be. But it's still like you look at the front line with Coutinho, Buendia, and Watkins with Ings on the bench, really dangerous side. Good midfielders as well. Douglas Luiz linked with Arsenal. But I feel like we're really solid, played a really good game on the first half, played a decent like 20 or 30 minutes in the second one. The last 20 minutes were like it was scary. I trust our defense. It's been looking solid recently, but it was definitely like I wasn't enjoying myself. I was definitely nervous there. But I feel like that game it was another situation where like the universe yelled at us that we need a number 9 that scores goals. It's not like Lacazette had a horrible game, but we create enough chances to be scoring more goals, right? And this was a game where we should be winning 2 or 3-0 before that pressure they put on us towards the end. I feel like that's why you're saying that it's not good enough, because if we play as well as we do in our good moments and we actually score the goals, I'm fine with that for a couple of years, mate. Because like we've been sucking for a while. But yeah, we definitely need that last touch to improve a lot.
Yeah, yeah, and the reason why I say performance is because if when I see it, then I know the team can do it. So then I'm like, you know what, let's do it again. And at some point it needs to be, no matter who's out there, we're going to see a similar performance based on the players that we have, and that's what you see from the teams that we're striving to follow in the footsteps of. Right? They pull a player out, they put another one in. Guess what? The performance stays close to the same, if not better, in some cases. Right? But so that's where I go with the performance piece. But yeah, I'll take the 3 points, and we shall. We're happy with that going into an INTERLULL. This is I would say probably our best INTERLULL entrance for the season. Probably 6 points out of 3 games. I think that might be really good. And one of them's playing Liverpool is not necessarily a given. We're not going to get much out of that sometimes, but performance-wise, yeah, I want to see better. So Tony, tell me about the game. I think I'll take the 3 points, but I think the performance still is, I guess, not consistent because
Yeah.
it could
We
be
really
better.
didn't even put a full half in this time. I'm still waiting for that 90 minutes performance we've only seen like twice in my entire season. To me, it's 3 points at the end of the day, but like all the games before international breaks, and usually when we come back, it seems like the players' heads are somewhere else. We're really not up for the game. It's like they're all making their travel plans right before kickoff and just not concentrated on playing football. But overall, we didn't really shoot the ball enough. We weren't attacking like we had been. It's what's got us where we are. We went from shooting 6 to 10 shots a game to 20 to 26 shots a game. Now we drop back down to 10 shots. We're still just not clinical enough. First touch is lacking from Lacazette, lacking from Martinelli, and sometimes lacking from Saka. And hopefully we can fix all that in the summer. It doesn't seem like we're going to fix it by the end of the year unless we do something crazy like put Smith Rowe a striker.
You said Smith Rowe, the striker, is what you said?
Yeah, I said something crazy like that. Like
Something crazy. Okay, yes.
He's our best finisher. I can't argue with you there.
The one thing he has done multiple times, we've seen it, is he is at least the master on this team of one-touch shots. Right? He doesn't need extra touches to put a shot on.
I wish he would coach the rest of us strikers and attackers. Just watch what I do. Odegaard does about the same too. He's pretty much one-touch guy.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like for me that's probably half our problem with why we don't score as much is because we never take a one touch. We will take an extra touch and let the defense get to us and close us down, or we take the extra touch and we lose the opportunity. So multiple things can happen in both cases. So in the game, we got a score from one of our youngsters once again. And that's going to, I guess, be kind of how this team is going to run. The youth are going to be the ones scoring, and the senior players are going to kind of hold it together as much as they can. And that's kind of what we're seeing, right? The young players are the ones scoring, and the older players are the ones kind of holding it together so that we don't break down entirely and lose our way. I guess I'll go to you, Tony. We'll go back this way. So, Tony, talk to me about Saka and that kind of his scoring.
I thought it was a good build up, good shot, but it seems like all our scoring's either coming from the wings or the attacking midfielders, which is kind of like Arsenal of old, where we used to get shots from the midfield. It's kind of nice to see that because we used to have like Perez out on the wing scoring goals, or about 5 or 6 midfielders you can go through, Fabregas and Nasri and all those guys. So it's nice to be able to score in the middle of the pitch. And now having PARTEY with his new role actually going up so we can penetrate through the middle so we don't have to rely on the flanks is kind of nice. Just wish we had a different person out there besides Zaka. I'd put Smith Rowe out there on the left. He plays on the left anyway, so I don't think we lose anything. If not, we gain tempo and another better passer, and we'll be passing the ball backwards. But Saka's getting his shooting boots. He was close to it at the start of the year, but now he's finally got it. I think he's kind of got a second wind. He was tired going into the season, tired most of the season. Me and Gary kept calling for him to rest. But now he's getting 7 to 10 days between most games. This week, just a few days, but he's been well rested. Hopefully he comes back from England without injury. Playing Zaka, I'm so afraid of him just snapping Saka's ankle. Just terrified.
No, definitely. Yeah, we'll come back around to that because that's definitely a talking point as we heard on one of the managers talking about it. But yeah, so Marley, as far as I guess the scoring, the only scoring that we had, how'd you feel about how that how did you feel about that? I guess give me a synopsis on that in terms of the scoring that we're getting, not only from the youth, but definitely in Saka in this game. Because go ahead. I'll let you just kind of give me your thoughts on that.
I'm not sure like what you're asking still. I'm a little confused. What's
just your evaluation of Saka and our youth scoring in games,
okay.
and especially in this one, especially.
Yeah.
So,
Nate, I think from our top 6 or 5 highest scores, we have like 4 youngsters and Aubameyang that left already, right? So that tells a lot about the team we have. And Aubameyang was horrible before leaving as well. Dude, I love Losaka. I love ESR. I love Martinelli. I think Arsenal has one of the best. I don't want to say the best young team in the world because like Barcelona always have like 95 good youngsters as well. But I can say pretty confidently that right now we're the best young team in England by a mile. Like there's no one else with as many good young players like as us. Pretty much all our good players are young, with the exception of perhaps PARTEY. So I love Lil Bukayo, mate. He definitely needs to work on his right foot. It's miserable. It's worse than my left. It's really really bad. But his left foot's slowly improving. Yesterday's goal like that was an ugly goal. That was not a good nice good looking shot. Like it was a little whiffy. I'm glad Martinez let that one go in. I feel like he was really lucky because Martinez took a long time to notice when the ball was coming, but that was it. Like it wasn't good. It wasn't that well directed. It hit the goal. It did what had to happen. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited. That's probably the most positive point about Arsenal for a couple years now. That even though we might not have a manager that 100% of the fan base trusts. We know that we can't trust the board too much. We know that things have been frustrating and slow. But you take this exact team that we have right now, 3 years from now, the tendency is that it's a killer team, right? Because everyone's evolving. Well, forget about Xhaka. Other than that, everyone's evolving, everyone's getting better. That excites me, man. That excites me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the reason why we scored that shot is once again because I think he didn't take an extra touch.
Yeah.
If he takes an extra touch, it probably goes off one of the defenders, and that's why we sometimes miss our opportunity. I mean, like you said, Martinez did not have an opportunity didn't see where the ball was coming from, but that was because there was no time. So we welcome Matt to the show. Matt, how are you doing?
Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, some people just noticed you coming in. Welcome to the show. Yeah, we've kind of started with a little overview of the game and just talked a little bit about our Saka's shot. So I don't know if you want to go ahead and give us kind of your overview of the game, and then we'll talk. Then you can talk a bit about Saka and his scoring. He's got his shooting boots now.
Yeah. Well, all I want to say, man, is that first I missed you all last week. I was coaching high school soccer. And footy, the correct term, footy. And my team went to overtime, so that's why I was not able to get on. But this weekend, this game was
Did you win?
no, we lost, but it's the second year I've had this squad, and they've never played footy before. So I mean, to go overtime against the team we lost. Well, we played them last year and we lost like 7-1. So this year was overtime. So that's progress. So that's all that mattered to me. Saturday's game, man, is the I'll say it like I told you 2 weeks ago. The Villas, the Palaces, the Leicesters, all of those games, 12 to 15 points will get us to top 4. It's that simple. 12 to 15 points will get us in the top 4. I don't.
Palace is gonna be a tricky one.
Huh?
Said Palace is gonna be a tricky one.
Yeah, that'd be a tricky one. But also Palace is it Palace? Palace is in a. Didn't they move forward in one of those cups this weekend? You know, I'm not really following the cups considering.
Yeah, that was the Air.
Yeah, they're in the semifinals of the FA Cup.
Okay, so yeah, they're going to be trying to win a trophy and preserve players, and so I think that's starting to work out in our favor. I think the trouble game, the really bogey game, out of all of those games that I mentioned with the 3, Chelsea, Tottenham, and Man U, the bogey game for me is going to be that North London derby because that could go either way. In the United game too. Those are the two that matter. I don't too much care about the Chelsea game. I want us to beat Chelsea, but I don't too much care about it. If we win it, it's ice cream and cake. The one big takeaway I took away from this game is that we need. I don't know, Gary. I don't know if you caught my discussion with Lee or not, but a goal scoring midfielder. What we just saw Saturday, we need more of that, but we need it from a center mid, and we need a goal scoring striker. We've got to find a goal scoring. I mean, someone that's proven. I don't want to, one for the future. I need somebody that has what this Nunez fella, this 27 and 26, 25 and 2. I need goal ratios high. We need somebody that if he gets a whiff, it's a goal. Kind of what we saw in that Barcelona game yesterday. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the Barcelona game yesterday, but I got through my men's game yesterday, so we were all sitting around, and I saw the first goal, and I just shook my head. One of my buddies knows I'm an Arsenal fan, so he just looked at me. I just shook my head. I was like, man, I'd pay hard money for that right about now. Those kind of goals. But that's what we need. We need an out and out goal scorer. Because
Matt, we need a clone of Eduardo.
That's what we need, man. I'll say it again. We need an Eduardo. Nothing flashy, normal looking dude, but you put him in front of goal, and 9 times out of 10, he's scoring no matter what. No matter what. I mean, that's what we lacking, man. And I think that we get this Champions League, we're going to need to get some signings. We're going to need about 6 signings because we're going to be playing across the board. So a lot of that needs to be taken into consideration. Who do we have next? Is it Palace next?
Yes.
Palace?
Yes.
It's
Yep.
Palace.
Yep.
Yo, so Palace is Monday? Next Monday?
That's on a Monday.
Yeah, it's on a Monday, so it's a week. That's
A week from today.
a week. No, is it a week?
2
No,
weeks.
it's 2 weeks from Monday.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got the interlull. So, week off. Well, first we got to hope people come back from international break unscathed. I told Lee Saturday, I was like, man, we've avoided the injury bug, so we just praying that we can get past the injury bug. No COVID, nothing that keeps people out, nothing outlandish, and we can keep this run going. But we've got to stay focused, and we've got to really dig in, man. These next 10, 10 games, man, are going to be critical. I'm telling you, 12 points, and I mark my words, 12 to 15 points. We can't have 3 draws in a row. 3 draws in a row, man, it's going to be butt clenching time. But we can at least get 9. Because somebody's going to drop some points between United and Tottenham. One of the two is going to drop some points. I promise you. I promise you they're going to drop some points. And if we can just stay capital, keep that 4 to 5 point or 8 point threshold over everybody else, then I think we're good. And who knows? Chelsea might even drop two or three games. And if Chelsea drops 2 or 3 games, we pick up a few games. Then we having a whole nother discussion. So
They can't pay their players anymore. They're bound to lose some games.
no, I think they're going. I think that their fan base is going to rally around them, and I think they're going to kind of push them over the line. That's what I think. Now next year's going to be a different ball game. And it remains to be seen about what's going to happen with the ownership of that team. So I'm not really I don't think Chelsea's going to go bust anything like that. That's highly unlikely. It's just that what I look at is, will they have the same type of owner that splashes the cash like Roman did? Roman had an endless pot of money to pull from, and I think Chelsea's going to get a little dose of what Liverpool went through there those first few years, where they got decent players, but they just didn't splash the cash all the time, So
Cool. Yeah. So continuing on, as you can see on the banner down there, I guess for me, anyways, and you guys can let me know if you agree or not. When I was watching the game, I was kind of doing a watch along, and throughout the game, the only thing I could repeat that I knew was going to work is that get the ball to Partey, and then he'll figure it out. And for me, that was where we needed to go. Whenever we went there, good things always happened. So I kind of gave him my man of the match. I don't know, Marley, I'll start with you. How did you feel about, is Partey your man of the match? If not, who? But I kind of felt like he was for me. And I thought I was being like unique when I said it, but then a lot of people actually agreed, and I was like, oh,
4 out of the 5 of us ended up saying it.
So Marley, how did you feel about Partey's play, or did you see somebody else who kind of stood out as well in the game?
No, I don't even see another fair shout for man of the match. I feel like the match was his. Partey's been fantastic. He took a really long start. Like, it took a really long time to hit the ground running at here, but he's been fantastic. Sure, he could improve his long shooting slightly, ever so slightly. Other than that, Partey's been solid, man. He's probably been our best. Him and Odegaard have been like our best players for a while now. Odegaard wasn't too good against Liverpool or Villa, so Partey's kind of like going over a bit. Yeah, man, like, he's dominating. He's so solid defensively nowadays. He drags the ball so well. He controls it so well. He's really strong as well. Like, I was a little scared when he came to the Prem, because I know Partey's a huge dude, sure, but he used to play in a league that's not physical whatsoever, right? Like La Liga, it's more about passing. They don't have that physicality. He played for Simeone. That got my conscience, and like I got a little cooler with that, but I didn't know if it was going to translate to him still being a physical player in here. But he is. He's definitely, like, he bullies people around. Like, can't complain about Partey. If he improves his long shooting by a lot, he becomes pretty much the perfect number 6 or number 8. Man.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. And I guess Tony, I guess for those who watched Arsenal fans, so they would know what you had to say. But for those who haven't, can you kind of give us your synopsis on Partey?
Yeah. For me, it was Partey because we've been missing it all season. We haven't been able to penetrate down the middle. We missed it last season. It's nice to finally see that since he moved Xhaka further up the pitch. It's been just him going forward and having Cedric stay back instead of pushing both fullbacks back. So that had to happen. If not, we have big gaping holes, which I was so afraid as I get exposed in Liverpool. I was afraid of 6-0, 8-0 loss the way Xhaka was playing so far forward. A lot of times he's up ahead of Lacazette. But ever since Partey said he was a 4 out of 10, took a good hard look at himself and been playing really hard. Been one of the best players since then. But for me, it's never been about him. It's the whole time. I think he was injured, not feeling good, not full match fitness until right before halftime. We finally got to see a preview of the Partey we wanted, and now he's came back and been that same guy we seen before he left. So it wasn't just a mirage. It's really what he is. And hopefully he gets more freedom where he can go forward. Like just said, to me, I think he's better as an 8. Have just a single guy back there as a 6 behind him. I think Zombie can be that, really, because that's his natural position. But for me, hopefully he can give us some of the leadership we need, but he don't seem that like that vocal of a guy. He's a big bulky guy, but you never see him shouting or screaming or much of that. He seems real laid back. Calmness will give some of the young guys confidence. Sometimes it does. Sometimes they need screaming. Sometimes they just need a quiet force that's playing in front of them. I think he's been great since he's been back from AFCON, and hopefully it continues until the end of the season.
Cool. And Matt, last but not least on PARTEY, did he stand out for you, or did you see anybody else that might need to mention?
PARTEY's been doing it, man. The last 3 or 4 games, man, is really turning on there towards the end of the season. I don't know if that after that red card, man, he just needed a little time off, from the AFCON, and he's come back, man. And he's looked like the guy that we thought we bought when the season started. And so I think that he needs to just keep going and doing his thing, man. I mean, he's keeping the balls in the stadium. He's tackling, all is well, man. All is well in Party Land. We definitely need to get another midfielder to compliment him, and that's something that's one of those positions that we need to address in the summer. But yeah, Party, man, he's doing well, man. He's doing well.
Cool. Yeah, I was gonna say go to the chats. I did see, Big Gunner has joined us. Welcome. I think that might be the one. Riddy has also joined us. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I think he was there from the beginning. But for those that are joined in, welcome to the show. And as you can see, we talked about Saka and his goal, but also about him, once again getting hit, actually drawing blood. And the talk comes up every time he goes down like that, and it takes forever for us to see any kind of response from the officials, protecting the players. Now, as you can see, my quote there's "protect my players, not Saka," and that's kind of coming from Gerard's comments about, what, players just need to stop talking. I did all this, I have all these injuries and all of this, and I mean, my understanding is that's just the way he played, and that's how he ended up with a lot of those injuries. It wasn't necessarily just that people were just trying to, kicking at his legs. But Saka, it's definitely, most teams, it's a concerted effort. They can't defend him, so they have to stop him somehow, and it usually ends up with him going down. And he went down, got blood. I don't even know, did they get a yellow for that? I can't remember off the top of my head. I think they got a yellow for that, but that happens too many. It's happening too many times. I mean, and of course, if Arsenal does it, it's going to be Xhaka, and then we know what happens there. And if Arsenal does it, it doesn't matter who it is, they're going to get a card immediately. No warning, no nothing. It might be the first time they ever touch a player on the other side. So I'll start with you, Marley, on Gerard's comments and protecting players in general, and our Saka being the being the target.
I start with someone else, man. I'm chewing food.
Okay, sorry. We'll start with Matt, and then we'll come back to you last. Yeah. So Matt, on the comments about protecting Saka, protecting players, and Gerard's comments.
I mean, come on, Gary. I mean, we all know, man. Arsenal has been going on for 20 years with our players. I don't know what it is. Although I do have some good news. I don't know if y'all saw today that Mike Dean is stepping away from. This is his last year reffing.
Why can't it be his last game?
He's going to VAR, which makes it even worse.
He's going to VAR.
What's he gonna be, head of VAR?
Yeah, he's gonna be working with VAR starting next season, man. So it's gonna be even worse. Now you can't see him when he makes the foolish calls. But anyway, we don't. I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like we're gonna have to get over that, man, and just have to deal with it because it's been that way for years, and it's gonna. I mean, unless something changes, it is what it is. It is what it is. And see, Shaka is already, he's made a reputation for himself, so they are. I mean, it precedes him, so we know that. And thank God we hadn't had that happen the last few games.
Good thing we had Zet screaming at him to go back to the referee, or he might have got a red yesterday.
Yeah.
Or Saturday.
So I think it is what it is, man. It's just something we've dealt with culturally for years as a club, and I think that it's going to just be here for a while until it changes. I mean, maybe we go up the totem pole a little bit more on the table. We can start demanding calls, but for right now, it is what it is. Personally, I think it battle hardens some of these guys. Soccer needs to be put on his ass 1 or 2 times so he can. Blood is bad. It's not a bad thing. He needs to toughen up. I mean, he's still a young man. He needs to toughen up a little bit, man. I've been saying for the last 2 years he needs to hit the weight room. He needs to.
He's a lot bigger this year. That's what I was comment when it came over to me. He's a lot stockier.
Yeah,
I think that's why he hasn't got hurt.
Yeah, he needs to. He still needs to get on the Kenny Kim plan. It needs to just a little bit tougher. But he's starting to age too, so he'll start feeling out probably in the next year or two. Cool. Martinelli needs to get on the weight machine too.
Yep. Yeah, and like you said, I think one of the things, if you see Saka next to a lot of other players, you realize how big he is. He looks small, but then you see him next to some senior players even, and you're like, he's not that small. He just looks like it. I mean, I think if he fills out even more, then it's going to be nice to see how that works out for him. I saw Miss Melina has joined us. Miss Melina, hello, welcome to the show.
Love you, Miss Mel.
Yeah, and I was going to say something before we moved on. I did see some comments about the jersey. We can get into that. I'm not a jersey guy, one, because I usually can't afford them anyway, so it doesn't really bother me.
You are a jersey guy. Oh, you talk about jersey.
I'm a jersey guy, but I don't buy jerseys. So I don't.
Matt's been waiting for that one.
We'll get into that. So Tony, I'll let you continue on talking about Saka and Gerard's comments and protecting players in general if that's even necessary. But go right ahead.
Before we can continue on with Saka, Sky Sports is reporting we're to quadruple his salary, so that would be $160,000 a week. Hopefully, that's enough to keep him with us, especially with Champions League. That would probably be really our biggest signing of the summer, being able to secure him for another. I forgot how long it was supposed to be. I think altogether it'd be 7 years added to what he's already signed just a few years ago. But I think he's bulked up. I think he's built better for all the punishment he gets. The refs don't protect the players. That's why sometimes you got to take the dive to get the calls. Or anytime you just get touched, just fall down. I don't like that, but that's what it takes to protect the players. Then that needs to happen. But he's always getting his ankle stomped, feet coming in high on his shins. Just the guys gets knocked down 7-8 times a game. I said, I don't know, I think it was a week and a half, 2 weeks ago in Ray's show that I just want somebody to go out there and get a red card for protecting him. Just go out there, shove somebody down, get all hell breaking loose, then the referees might take notice and start calling red cards or yellow cards, or sometimes even fouls. A lot of times he gets knocked down and he doesn't get a foul, and it's definitely a foul. But I can care less what Gerard has to say. Doesn't matter to me. But refs do need to protect the players more. Like I said, to take probably some actions from teams or players. Like I said, going out there and taking justice in their own hands. You get a red card, you get a red card. Make it count. I hate these stupid, cheap ones pulling a shirt. You're going to get a red card, go in with 2 feet. Just knock the guy down. Do what you need to. If you're going to get a red card, make it count. You're going to be suspended anyway. So might as well make it count.
True. Yeah, I'll let you continue on, Marley, if you have anything else to say on that one. But I do agree that if the officials aren't going to do it at some point, we're going to have to do it. I just don't know who that is. It can't be number 34.
Probably
Right.
number
It can't.
6.
So it's got to be somebody that should be able to come in there, and I kind of look at Partey, right, the same way I kind of looked at oh my gosh, I can't think of his name now, who played for City.
Yaya?
Yes, he was just a big bruise in the middle of the pitch, and people would just bounce off of him. I just remember when he would play, and it was just like, yeah, I mean, I kind of felt like that he commanded it, and that's kind of what we're seeing from Partey. But I'll let you talk, Marley, a little bit more about Saka and protection, or just for me, I just think if he scores more, it'll be more apparent to at least to the officials that look, this is a player of the league, and he's a name, but he just doesn't have the stats yet that maybe give him the benefit of the doubt when he does get knocked down. That maybe you need to look out for him a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say about all that's been said. The last comment made in the chat, that's one of the things I was gonna touch on. Not 3 years ago,
Oh, this
Jared
one
was
Oh, yeah.
Jared was defending his Rangers players, saying that they need to be more protected, and the comparison with himself. Well, please don't get me wrong, right? Like, I'm not comparing skills. Jared's one of the best football players I've ever seen. Not comparing Saka's skills to his, but you can't compare a midfield maestro, like someone that plays in the middle of the park, like Jared, to a dribbling winger, right? Like, he's gonna get fouled more. So the comparison's just completely silly. I agree that players need to bulk up a little more. I like what they do at Bayern. It looks like they feed steroids to the players, right? Because everyone leaves like, "Rrrr." They
Especially
look like NFL
Gnabry.
players when they leave. What?
Gnabry's like a brick shit house now.
Well, Davies,
Dude.
remember the picture? I don't know if you remember the picture of Jonathan Davies. Like when he's supposed to be out he's on injury leave, and they show pictures of him, and you're like, the man's got nothing but muscles all over the place.
They're all dude, Goretzka. That's a scary one. Like, you look at the evolution of Goretzka in Bayern. But yeah, that's good. That's good.
There's something extra in the sauerkraut. They put a little extra in the sauerkraut.
I think our players are like slowly getting bigger. I think Martinelli's bulked up a little bit already, but sure, they need to bulk up a little more. It's good that a player understands that it's a physical game, so they're gonna get hurt every now and then, sure. But Saka's right. Saka's right. Like, he needs to. People need to protect him a little more, and the inconsistencies they're always gonna hurt us a little bit, right? Like, I didn't quite watch the Liverpool game. I only watched highlights, so I can't comment on that one. But I was saying this the other day. I don't remember the last game, the last Arsenal game I watched, where there was nothing that I could complain about the ref. There's always not a possible, like a clear red card that he doesn't give to the opposition, a penalty that he doesn't give us. Like, it's been really frustrating, and I feel like people talk about Xhaka's reputation. With VAR, should reputation really come into play? I really feel like it shouldn't. Like, they have the video assistance there, sure. Like, he's usually an aggressive player, but mate, if he does the same thing that another player does, should be both red cards or both yellow cards, right? Or both nothing. So that's always going to
be VAR and the referees are inconsistent, and that's the problem.
Exactly. It's too much inconsistency, mate. Of course, like I was really angry at Steven Gerrard. Didn't get that comment. I feel like he was sour. A lot of people are sour because Arsenal celebrates a little too much when they win games now. That pisses people off for some reason, which is so depressing. Right? I like to think that people can't celebrate a win anymore. But yeah, that's it, man. That's it. I feel like Arsenal has a strong reputation. People don't like us. People like not liking us. So that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen all the time, man. Unless it gets really professional with VAR, that's always gonna be happening.
Okay. All right. So Tony, I know you say you gotta run now. So do you have any last words before you go?
Yeah, I have last words. I know you brought up the map earlier. I think we need to move Martinelli for striker back for us because
Okay.
I don't think we're going to be able to sign as many players as we need. We need 6 to 8. I don't see Arteta incorporating academy players because he hasn't yet. He needs to because we're going to be in 4 competitions. Unless he wants us to drop out of them, then he's have to incorporate academy players, more fringe players, instead of playing soccer and League Cups that he shouldn't ever be playing in
Yeah,
when
and I
he's
guess
tired.
before you go, I guess I'll just show everybody what you're talking about, and basically this is kind of, at least this is my interpretation of how things look and the way we're playing right now, and the positions of that we have on our team, and kind of our depth in terms of where we stand with certain players. The ones in red are players that I can see have either that were signed at the beginning of the season and are gone now, or that will probably be gone by the end of the season. So Tony just left us. So he's kind of started talking about this, and as you can see, and I guess we can get into this. I'll let you guys you can go back and forth if you want on this one. But so yeah, I'll let you, Marley. I don't know if there's one place you want to start on this first or not. On this.
I think you can pick where you want to start if you
All right,
want
so let's start on the easiest one then, because I think it's going to be the one where we probably have a lot of holes to fill. We need somebody up top, right in the middle, in the striker position, scorer, 9, whatever you want to say. We need somebody up top. Bamiyang. Oh, I actually have the colors are wrong there, as you can see. Bamiyang's already gone, so that's not even an issue there. So he should actually be red, as you see, as I'll change it here. Lacazette, though, Lacazette actually is. The reason why I have Balogun as red, though, is I don't think, at least for me, I don't think he's ready.
No.
I don't think he's ready. So I kind of feel like he's going to go out on loan. So red meaning they're not going to be players that I think we're going to hold on to as part of our first team. So for me, Aubameyang is already gone. Lacazette is probably going to be gone. I can see a reason to keep him, as you can hear my dog whining. Nketiah, nah. And Balogun, like I said, loan. So let's start with you, Marley, in terms of striker. I'll just have to mute and just go take care of this dog before he whines a little bit more.
Yep.
But I'll let you chat.
Asking me like the names I would like?
Well, if you have names, perfect. But I think if you have names, that'll work too. Yeah. How deep you want to go, that's up to you. But I definitely feel like we need to fill those spots, and I think 2 should be okay. Would be the best thing for us. But I can see us having to go 1. But we'll see. I'll let you speak to that. But I'll be right back. I'm gonna.
Absolutely.
I'll let you go ahead. Go ahead, Marley.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I think it was you, Matt. You were talking about a need for a number 9 that pushes the ball in, right? Like that guy that's a goal scorer and nothing else, pretty much. And I feel like that player is dying, right? Like we're not seeing as much of that type of player anymore. Like number 9s, they tend to have more to their game. And I think there's multiple names that could. The best one available was Vlahovic. He's not available anymore. He's gone to Juventus. I don't think we can compete for the very best. So you're not going to see Arsenal's name being like truly linked with the likes of Haaland or Lewandowski if he's leaving Bayern. I feel like we're going to need to take a step down from that. Someone mentioned Richarlison in the comments. He's one of my favorite players. He's a Fluminense Academy player. That's my favorite
take
game.
If Everton was to get, which I don't think they're gonna get relegated. If they were to get relegated, I'd be all over him. But that looks like a Liverpool. That's a Liverpool type move.
That's a what?
Liverpool would probably be all over him if that happens.
Oh, well, if he goes to Liverpool, like he's gonna piss some people off. But yeah, I can see that happening.
Well, never mind. Scratch that. I forgot. Never mind. Everton, Liverpool. I wasn't even thinking about that. So no, probably could go in for him. Or Newcastle will probably go for him.
Yeah, I can see Newcastle going for him hard.
Yeah.
Richarlison, I think you said it yourself because I like Richarlison, but the truth is he's probably like a 40-45 million player, and Everton would probably charge around 100. They refused 100 million from Barcelona not too long ago.
Not if they relegate it.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they get relegated, then he becomes a slightly cheaper player. We can probably afford him. I don't think like he's my favorite choice because I like him already. He used to play for Fluminense. I love him to bits. But I think someone else mentioned Jonathan David and Osimhen. They're probably the two best options. Scoring goals for fun at Lille and Napoli. They're really fast. They're really pacey. They can play in more than one position. They're two really good goal scorers. I feel like if we leave those two, we're gonna have to take yet another step down to the likes of Alexander Isaac that we're linked to, DCL. I think he's a step below these guys, and Ivan Toney. These guys in the Prem. I would like Jonathan David. He'd be my favorite one. He's been doing really 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 well. And the tricky thing about striker is we need two, right? Like we're assuming Lacazette's going to be leaving, so we're going to be needing at the very least two. Usually we have three, right? Like we're used to seeing Lacazette, Aubameyang, and Nketiah. I agree that Balogun needs to be loaned out because he's not ready yet, and we see the potential. But here's the thing: if we loan him out, then there's a need for a third, right? And we're probably going to have to pull up Beereth. If Balogun's not ready, Beereth is definitely not ready. So that's the issue. That's why it's smart to try to fit Martinelli, like have Martinelli become that more versatile forward, or even Pepe if he stays, like one of those two, so that they can play at number 9. So that way we only have two grown-ups that can play as striker and one that can do a job there whenever needed, right? Because if we just get one and we lose Lacazette, we're screwed, right? Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, we definitely got to go. We got to go heavy on finding a goal scorer, man. Otherwise, we're gonna be up the creek next season, man. I just think that us not doing that in the winter was rough, man. I mean, I know like Arteta probably had Locker's gonna come good, man. And I mean, Locker's done fairly well, man, as far as the basics, but we need end product. He's a player that needs to be moved on. I'm sitting here looking at this sheet now. Reece Nelson. I mean, this is another one that you look at and it's like, well, I mean, is he really gonna really help get us over the line? And you have to have. I mean, let's start looking at this. Gary, this is the way we have to start looking at this table. I mean, this lineup. Who on this team is Champions League quality? See, this is the discussion that we're going to start having now. Who is expendable? I mean, you look at that right back situation. I mean, Bellerin's coming back, man. I mean, he needs to be sold.
I don't think he's coming back. I think he's staying at Betis.
Okay, well, he needs to be sold. I mean, you're looking at that. You're looking at the. I heard we're supposed to be working on a deal to bring Saliba back, which would be great. Holden needs to be sold. He's been here for too long. He needs to be sold. Mari needs to be sold because Gabriel's not losing that spot unless he wants to compete for it. But I mean, we talking about a dude that's in what? How old is Pablo Mari? 28.
I think he's 27 or 8.
Yeah.
He wants to get regular football, so he needs to be moved on. Send him on back to Brazil. Tierney Tavares. We need a third right. We need a third left back.
Yeah, Marie's 28. He'll be 29 going into the season, I think. Yeah, going into the next season. So
yeah, I mean, we got a lot of Shaka needs to be sold.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even got to midfield yet with Shaka, but yeah, like I said, the striker, I always believe we could get what we need if we stayed in the Premier League, or even the Champions League or the Scottish League or something like that, because that's where players were this past summer. We could have gotten one or two players from from as local as we can possibly be, and we didn't do any of that. We did it at center back, which did we need to do it? I don't know, but definitely a striker would have been nice to pull one from from England or from Scotland or whatnot, but we didn't do either. So yeah, I think striker. I would like to say all of the areas that are in red and all the needs. We don't have to go outside the country to get players. I know there's a price difference, and the quality might not be the same as you're going to get from a European player coming in. But I always feel like any player that we bring in internationally, there's going to have to be some vetting period, some time for them to get acclimated to the Premier League, and then, like we've seen from Tomiyasu, can actually hold up. Right, White and Tomiyasu both coming in have been great for us. White's been able to stay, he's been able to stay healthy since he's been here. Tomiyasu's hurt one hamstring, hurt the other one now, and that could be that's going to be a problem for us because we actually do like him. Cedric plays well going forward. Going backwards is an issue there. All right, so I got Stefan is in the house here, so I'm going to just say hello to everybody, and we'll continue on with our discussion here. Stephen is there. Eddie loves London too much. You know what? We're gonna have to. You might have to go. I don't know what team he's gonna get to go to in London, but it can't be. You don't have to leave, but you got to get out of here. It's kind of gonna have to be the thought process there for him. And then we'll get into this talk about Xhaka and kind of at least how I feel we should go about this thing. Hey there. All right, so Football Brownies join us. How you doing, Adam? All right, so let's go into it. Let's talk about our midfield, and I guess everybody's favorite is Xhaka. Best case scenario, if we were a Champions League team, he would possibly be coming off. He would be coming off the bench for us, or he wouldn't be here. I feel based on what we need and based on how Partey's been playing recently and what he needs. For me, anyways, that's what I feel. I know he brings a lot of intangibles, and that's what people will bring up. Is that he in the locker room, on the pitch, he does keeps the team together, and that's what we've seen from Lacazette as well, which is another reason why I'm like, one of them might stay anyways because we're going to need to keep the team together on the pitch, regardless of their performance. There's some of the skill sets that they possess. So we'll see how that pans out. But for me, I think Xhaka, we need to improve on that position. I know at the beginning of the season, Basuma was the first name that came up, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I think he might even be hurt now. But we need a midfielder to sit in that position there. Basuma's been one name. When I've seen him play, I've like, okay, I like that. And, is there another player like him? I think that's been the question. Who could we get similar to, a Basuma or, maybe even a better, attacking player in that midfield. So Marley, as far as that midfield position that is right now, vacated by that Xhaka currently holds, where do you see us going with that if we're going to change at all?
I mean, I don't have a prediction as like where do I think we're going. I can't answer that, but I think we need a midfielder just as much as we need a striker, but the situation is not as dire because I feel like there are more good available options out there for midfield than there are for striker. We've been linked to multiple players that I'd be really happy with. Tielemans at Leicester, great, phenomenal player. Ruben Neves, sure, maybe the Arsenal fans are not liking him too much right now because of some recent comments, but still great player, great free kick taker as well. We don't have a lot of those. We've been linked with Danilo from Palmeiras. You guys probably don't know him, but a lot of people saw him play at the Clubs World Cup against Chelsea. He played really well, and he's fantastic. There's another really good, really young player at Fluminense, André. So because it looks like we're going to be needing two, I'm hoping we do a gamble like we took with Lokonga on a younger player, hopefully Brazilian. I always enjoyed that. But I want us to go to a more ready player. It would be even better if it's someone that's already thriving in the Premier League. So Ruben Neves at Tielemans would be fantastic. Newcastle got my favorite choice. Bruno Guimarães, that came from Lyon to Newcastle. He would have been my favorite midfielder He's probably the best in the world in his age group at what he does. So he would have been fantastic. But that's the difference, man. Because striker, I can only name like 5 or 6 that I'd be truly happy with. Midfielder, I can go on and on. I'd probably name like 15 names that I'd be happy with because I'm not a fan of Xhaka. Even though I agree, like he has his importance, but I feel like it's time to move on for everyone.
I know everybody in the chat loves when we talk about Xhaka because I go off. Matt, you still there? And it looks a little dark there where you are now.
Working on some stuff that I've got to.
All right, no problem. So, you keeping Xhaka or you moving on?
It's time for Shaka to go, man. It's that shit. You know, y'all know how I feel about it. If you watched this show for the last year, you know, we're watching me and Gary for the last year. Y'all know how I feel about this. It is. We're past this, man. His day is done. He needs to be moved on. Send him on over to Roma. You know, get him on out the door. Take the 10 million you can get for him, and just start over. Just go get Basuma, take that 10, apply to Basuma, and just bring him on in, and just move on, move on from Granite.
I think Bisuma's having some legal troubles, isn't he? That's why the links kind of went away a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know. There is a potential for him to get charged, but I don't know. It's been really quiet on that end, at least.
I always prefer our club avoiding that kind of situation. By the way, this guy BX Gunner, he mentioned one of the best midfielders in the world, Lucas Paquetá. But the thing is, he's a cam. Like, he's competition for Odegaard. Like, I don't think he can play in that hybrid 6 and 8 that Arsenal truly needs. I would love for him to join. He's a fantastic player, one of the most consistent players at the Seleção, at the Brazilian national team. But I don't think he's the position we're looking for right now.
Yeah, and that right there is the comment, right? Basuma is probably less likely a Arteta man, which means he's definitely not going to come. And Arteta has his types of players, and if he can't deal with the ones that he had here, he's definitely not going to want that smoke, as they say, coming from a Basuma, because he doesn't. One, I don't think he should have to deal with it, and I don't think he can deal with it. So that's fine. He knows his limits, and we've learned to, at least I've learned to understand where he's coming from sometimes with the way that he's handled certain players. And Basuma probably isn't one. But it's the type of player like Basuma, and I don't know if you would you say I don't think you would say Tielemans is the type of player, right? As far as a Basuma, like a true defensive midfielder. Right, so I don't know what that player looks like other than Basuma. So I always bring him up, but it's probably the wrong name to bring up. But defensive midfielder, that kind of, because we've seen him do it in games, and I was like, okay, that's what we've been missing, right? A player who the ball's lost, he's able to track back and retrieve it before any danger happens to the back line. We don't really want. I don't think we want Partey having to do that, even though he can do it to some degree. I don't think we want him to do that. I know this name always comes up. War. How many years has it been now? We've been, his name's been in the.
It's like Benzema. You remember Benzema back in 2012, 2013? Everything was Benzema.
Yeah. And the reason why I think it should be easier for us now to bring in some player for Jacques is, I don't believe he's, for me, not as offensive as a player as we want, and definitely defensively he's a liability. So bringing somebody in that can play further up the pitch, I think we need better than what we have, and I think there's probably more players that we can get. And we, like you said, we can take risks there, and we, maybe it's not another one of those things where we bring in 2 players, right? One solid and one backup if we have to, or one young up and coming player that needs some time to sit behind, because that seems to be where we are now, right? We've got Tavares, we've got Zombie, players sitting behind starters that are going to learn from them, but we need some other ones too to go with that. I think the goalkeeper might be one that's going to sit behind Ramsdale. So
Matt Turner.
Yeah, you think he's not going to come in? I think he's going to come in, right? And and probably play behind Ramsdale and get some of those, those cup games, early cup games at least, and maybe back up when we need to. So yeah, what is this? Oh, okay, Fakir. I'm not familiar with that. Anybody know about him?
Yeah, for Kerr, yeah, Liverpool was supposed to sign him, but they backed out of the deal. He had some injury issues, and we were in for him, but we didn't go for him, and he ended up going over to Betis, so he's on fire over there. So
I see him as a cam as well. He's even played as a winger before. Like he's more of a number 10. I'm sure he can play as a number 8, but I feel like Arsenal's looking for a number 8 that can play as a number 6, kind of that hybrid player, which is there's a lot of those in football right now. So I don't think Arsenal is going to be looking at this type of player that's so attacking. Plus, Fekir, like he's not that young anymore. I feel like Arsenal's profile should be looking for someone younger.
yeah, we need somebody that's probably about 25, 26.
Yeah, and I've
That's
always
an old man in our books right now.
yeah. Well, I've always said that our age dynamic is just not right. Right now, our best players are at that 24 to 20 year age group, but we need a 24 to 28 player that's at their best. I mean, Partey is that player right now, but we need more than one. We need more than one. Ramsdale, I think, is 24, but we need some players a little bit older that we can bring in that, for me, can compete for starting positions or just take it because that's why they've come in.
Mm-hmm.
I would be. I don't. This might sound crazy, but I would be okay if Martinelli and Saka and Erdegaard maybe had to take a step back, just because I know that they've got experience and all of that. But I just feel like we're going to have to get a rotation in anyways. So if we get somebody in that's better than them, that's fine. Because for me, they still have a couple of years before we're going to hold on. We're going to be expecting them to be at their top level and maybe a world level if they get to that. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I wouldn't be upset if they did that. But I know the needs are midfield and striker, so they might have to do that. Now the reason why I put this up as well is because the colors in red are players in red are players that we're going to have to get rid of, or it's only 2 that are actually gone. Everybody else has to come back or is here now. That's a lot of work.
Yeah,
That's a lot of work. Some players it might be easy, but Arsenal seems to drag their feet.
But like
yeah.
Pepe, for example, is he a player that you guys feel like needs to go?
Nah,
Like
I think Pepe needs. I think what needs to happen with that is we need a striker that can actually make life a little easier for him, the way he can actually do what he need. He doesn't feel under pressure. I think I'm telling you, if we had a striker that could score, it would take all of the pressure off of him because every time he touches the ball, it's like we're expecting him to score.
Is it the striker? Is it a striker that's going to make it easier for him? Because isn't it the extra stuff that he has to do? The things that we see Martinelli and Saka do, I believe. I don't even know if Martinelli does it, but Saka definitely, as far as some of the work that he does tracking back.
what
Like
more? You see it with Saka more clearly than with Martinelli, dude.
well, I'm saying,
Martinelli
I'm
tracking
probably
back
more.
is-
I'm probably more looking at Saka when I see it, and Martinelli I don't notice it as much. Doesn't mean he doesn't do it, but this is what I notice. So I'm gonna go. I always go with what I see. So I might be looking more at the Saka side and not noticing Martinelli when he's doing his work. But I don't feel there's a problem with Martinelli, or else he wouldn't be playing as much. I know Pepe, that's an issue, right? I think he can shoot, got it. Can he hold up the ball enough? Sometimes he seems to lose the ball a lot, easily. But the things that Arteta wants that aren't in his toolbox essentially are the things that kind of hold him back. And the last game, I think he needs to be a little better with the ball control, right? And I mean, a lot of people said he tried to give away the 2 points. He did his darndest not to hold on to that ball and then keep control, maintain control of the ball. So I think Pepe for me. The reason why I have a question mark there is I kind of feel like they had to figure out what they can get out of him. If they can't, then he's going to have to go because I kind of feel like, why are you keeping him if you're not going to eventually play him? Because I could see him actually sitting on the bench, more than he is now. That's why, and we can't keep doing that, having players on our pitch that we're not going to play, right? We've been doing that too many. We need to have 25 players at some point that we can play and Arteta feels comfortable with. Pepe isn't one right now. I'm not sure if that will change.
Okay.
Yeah.
My thing with Pepe is, I'm sure he's not going to stay at Arsenal for too long, but he's not someone I'm looking to sell this upcoming window. Because I think we're going to lose a lot of money on Pepe. Like, that's a reality we kind of need to accept. No one's going to pay over 70 million on Pepe. But right now, like, we know that we need at least one midfielders, but probably two, and probably two strikers already. That's 4 expensive players. I really hope we don't buy a center back this next transfer window because it's going to take the focus away. We always buy a center back. We don't need one right now. We have White, we have GMAG, Gabriel Magalhães. We're going to have Saliba, who's been playing well at Marseille. And I'm not a fan of Holdings, sure. But as a 4th center back, I'm fine with that. And bring in another young player to fit in that fifth defender role. We might need another fullback, just one. We don't need 3 right backs, three left backs. If we get another right back, that's fine. Cedric can fill in at left back if need so. But that's it. Like you're looking at 4 expensive players already. If you have to invest in a winger to replace Pepe, that's like I don't know where that money is going to be coming from. People are talking about 180. That's a lot of money, but that's 45 million players. Right? Like it's not that much money.
Yeah.
But
No, like I said,
broke guys like us. It sounds mean to say that, right? But we need to understand that football's a lot richer than we are.
True. Yeah. No, like I said, I don't want somebody that's on the bench that we don't play.
Yeah.
That's kind of I want less of that. Like right now, when we look at our bench, we know Emil Smith-Rowe is going to come off. We know Eddie has to come on. We know Emil Smith-Rowe and Pepe are. We need scoring. We're going to bring them on. Holding, we know, comes on defensively, and Pep and that's it, right? Those 3 players are the only 3 that we know are going to come off that can give us what Arteta wants, and not even that sometimes as far as Pepe is concerned. So we need a deeper bench, especially going forward into if we're going to get European football, we're going to need it. And in general, we need it anyways, I think, just to build up the squad so that we can compete. You talked about Saliba. I put a question mark next to him just because we just don't know, right? We think he should come back but is he an Arteta player? And that he might have the skill sets, and Guendouzi we know had the skill sets, but he just wasn't Arteta's type of player for everything outside of his talents, right? There are things that Arteta did not like about him, and I don't know if Saliba's in that same boat, but he hasn't played for 3 years now.
No one's in the same boat as Guendouzi.
Yeah, I know, but we don't know what Saliba where Saliba sits. Is he closer to Saliba, or is he just going to be? He got all of the experience that he needed, and now it's time to actually get him into the club and play him. Like they've said, we heard that in the reports that he needed the time and he's gotten the time, and that they want him to come back. So we'll find out if that's for real in the summer when he does come back. And I think he just got a call up as well. I mean, talking about the INTERLULL, and I don't know if you guys want to talk about this anymore. We're at about 65 minutes. There were a couple of things I did want to chat about that people have talked about, and we'll talk about the INTERLULL and we'll finish up here. So I think the first thing we're going to get to, if you guys are okay with moving on from here.
Yeah, perfectly fine. Yeah.
All right.
I think
cool.
so.
Cool. I mean, I think that's a good thing to look at, and you come back another time later and you're like, oh, right. So here we go. Somebody want to talk about the jerseys. For those who have seen, hopefully you've seen them. If not, I think there's some red jerseys with a style from back in the days with, if I recall, for someone who doesn't think about jerseys, I do believe it has buttons and a collar, if I recall.
I'm a fan of collars, so I
think it has a collar on it, and I think it has buttons as well, if I recall. So I think so it was on Twitter early this morning when I came in, I'll let you go, Matt, in terms of jerseys.
I was trying to find a picture of it.
Let me see if I can find it. Then I can push it out there to everyone. So.
Yeah, hold on, I got it. I got it right here. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, looks good.
Yeah. You know what? If I can bring it up, I will.
Here we go. I got you. Hold on.
Do you have the link? You want to send it to me? Oh, is this it here?
Just do share. There we go. I can do. Let me see here.
Oh yeah, I got it here as well. So. I have it here, so I will just put it on here as well. Yeah. So here it is. And everybody, here we go. So here's the New Jersey that I found there. Like I said, I think it's got the buttons right there and the collar, red. What do you think? You said you like the collar, Matt?
Yeah, I'm a fan of collars. I think I don't think that's the actual kit, personally. But if you take away the, I mean, I see what they're trying to do, but I would prefer just regular solid white sleeves.
Oops, did I just? I don't know what I just did there. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a fan. I'll probably get this one. I hadn't bought a kit in a while, but I'll probably get this one. I just like collars. I've always liked collars on my kits. So usually when I see a collar kit, you know, especially if it's traditional colors, I'll get it. You know, I hate going black next year. I hate that wearing black. Because we have what the hell is our away color kit this year? I can't remember what our away kit is.
Well, there's well, it's not the yellow one, the gold one or whatever. That's not that's the way, isn't it? That's the way or the.
Hell, I don't even know what our kit's are.
Jesus, what's happening? I'm trying to remember now too.
So it's not the yellow one then, right? So,
no,
is it? It's not the. It's not even the train.
No, we have a yellow
one
one
either, right?
We have a yellow one.
It's the yeah. I wish we could go back to the one that we had a couple of years ago. We had the bruised banana, that color, man, with the with that scheme with our regular blue and red. I mean, I kind of like those. I'm a throwback type of guy, man. I like the old school jerseys, man. Old school. I mean, I don't know what my JVC is. I have to see how I can grab. Let me, you know what, while y'all do that, let me see if I can find it. I'll show y'all what I'm talking about. Hold on.
Yeah. I mean, because the jersey looks nice, but you know, if it's just a fake, I guess we'll find out. Like I said, I don't buy jerseys. I mean, I usually they don't fit me right, so I don't buy them.
Oh, that's dynamite.
Yeah, that is a nice one.
I like this. This is the color scheme I like for us to wear in an away game. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite jerseys.
Yeah, look at that. You've got 30. Good. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've got the highlighter. So that's the jersey talk. Yeah, that's from 90. All right, cool. All right, so let's get back and we'll talk a little about the INTERLULL. I think.
Nobody wants to talk about that, man, and the international break, man. That's boring.
You have something you want to talk about? I did have some. Where are my next thing here? Oh, it's just okay. I think we've talked about everything on my list, which has been pretty good. It is 75 minutes here. I'm okay, huh?
So we hitting record time tonight.
We are. We've talked about a lot, and I don't think we have any new comments in here. INTERLULL predictions.
Just
Arsenal won't lose. That's for sure.
and just stay healthy, man. That's all that matters. Just stay healthy.
That is another thing. I think I saw Ramsdale isn't traveling, so that's
interesting.
That's good and bad, right? It's good that he's not traveling, so he won't get hurt. But it's bad that he's not traveling because he is hurt. So he has 2 weeks.
Gabriel's not going to Brazil either. Gabriel Magalhães.
Oh yeah,
he's
because
not gonna
his
do
wife's he's either having the baby, or he's about to have the baby soon, or it's it's just unknown.
Oh, that's the best reason ever. I like it because I didn't know what was going on, so I was actually worried that he's not going to be playing for Brazil anymore.
Yeah, no, it's just the baby's coming, and he might have missed the game. That was, I think, also a risk that he might have missed the last game, and that.
Oh, you talking about Gabriel Martinelli?
Yeah, no,
No,
Gabriel.
Magalhães.
The-
Magalhães.
Oh, man, okay, all right. I thought you might know.
Yeah. So no, I just saw that Gabriel just arrived at Brazil's football center, or whatever it's called. So he's good to go, which is good. I think that's good for him. I mean, I think the more he plays with them, hopefully some of that will rub off on him, right? He'll bring it back, and we'll see an even better version of him each time he goes away on international duty.
I think first of all, I just want to get that out of the way. I hate international breaks, and it's also a period that shows me how spoiled Europeans are, because whenever international teams play, the calendar doesn't stop in Brazil. They just go, yo, you guys figure it out, right? Like, you're not gonna have 4 or 5 players to play this game, but like, it's your problem, it's not ours. But in Europe, no, they stop. They give you breaks so that no one's hurt. They don't care about America. They care about Europe. But anyway, moving on from that. One really good thing that could come from Martinelli being called for Brazil more often is that, like, he has way too much competition on the left wing for Brazil. We have Neymar in there. We have Vinicius Junior killing everything at Real Madrid. We have so many talented wingers. Martinelli's now one of the 4 best wingers in Brazil. He's not. There's a couple people ahead of him, but there's a good chance that he might be playing as a striker every now and then, because Brazil doesn't have a lot of good strikers right now. So maybe that's a good possibility for us, that he can be tried by Chichi, who, by the way, absolute idiot. But well, let's hope something works out. But yeah, that's something I'm kind of expecting to see. I'm only expecting him to play like 10 or 15 minutes a game, if he does. But anyway, like, still nice to see it.
Well, if you can practice with those players, and that's one of the things that as I recall from the younger, I guess with the new players coming into, like, Arsenal back in the days, right? The one thing that they said is they came in, and there were all these, world-class players that they were practicing with, and it kind of gives you, a little bit of incentive, because that's where you want to be, but then also you can see how they practice and see the things that you need to improve on in your game, because you see it there every day at practice and during games. So it's not a negative at all, right? Just being able to be part of that. If you're part of the French team, same thing, right? I think Saliba's got called up, so he'll be sitting there looking at how to play his position. I think if Varane is Varane ahead of him? Is Varane in his position? I can't remember.
Yeah,
Right. So he'll be ahead of him, but he'll be able to see, the best players in their positions for his country play, and there can't be any negatives there, especially if he's still young, so he won't play as much. But it's good to see, Saka kind of jumped the gun on this, jumped the line, right? Nobody thought he would be playing as much as he is, but he's being depended on to do that. I think he's shown that he can handle it. Hopefully he'll get to rest this time around, but we'll see. Milsrifro probably might play more. We'll find out about that. Anybody else? I think that's really really the big names going out for us, right? All right, we are coming up on 80 minutes. I'm gonna I'll start with you, Matt. We'll start with you. As far as heading out, anything you want to say on our way out the door here?
Stay healthy, man. Just stay healthy. 12 to 15 points, and we're in there.
Cool. And last but not least, Gamarley, before you head out, any last words, and also, let everybody know about where they can find you?
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here, man. It's been a blast. Whenever you guys want me, I'll be back. Man, well, I've been trying to predict as much as I can, right? Like, I'm trying to be ballsy. I think Arsenal's not going to lose any more games. till the end of the season. It's a big one that I'm saying right now. I feel like we're gonna get a couple draws, like 4 or 5 maybe, but I feel like we're gonna be undefeated. I'm not worried whatsoever about the United game. I feel like we're gonna embarrass them. I'm worried about the North London Derby. That's the one game I feel like we could lose. Even Chelsea, I feel like that's gonna be not easy. It's Fluminense scored a goal. I didn't even notice. We're winning. Yeah, I feel like that's going to be a draw. So yeah, I feel like we're going to be undefeated towards the end of the season, which is always nice to see. It brings me back to the best era of Arsenal history. But man, thank you once again. You can find me at Football United TV. That's my channel. I have it's a different Matt, but I have my Matt as well. My partner at Football United TV. We have a lot of different content. We have Football in the Americas. That's one of our biggest news shows where we talk about football in the American continent. So stay tuned to that and everything we do. If you can subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet, and please support these guys as well.
Thank you. Yeah, and for those that didn't know, Matt does his segment for Lee Gunner after the games, so they get to chat about the game. So if you want some more of Matt, you can get his viewer things with Lee Gunner as they chat about the post game reviews of the games. Tony, as you know, he shares time with me and on Arsenal Fan Circle along with here. So you see us 2 days a week there. Thank you everybody for joining the show. Appreciate it. Just remember to subscribe and like. Anything else? We'll be back next week. I don't know what we'll talk about. We'll see. We'll be talking and talking about the Crystal Palace game. Yeah, you wanted to say something, Marley?
Yeah, I mean, it's the very first time in my life that someone asked me for my Instagram, so I want to give it to this guy.
Okay.
My Instagram is at Charlie Millen, so just reverse the consonants there. Charlie Millen 93.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll follow you back. That's my Twitter, by the way.
Cool. All right. Yeah. No. Matt's cool. Matt is Matt. All right. I don't think see anything different from here than you see over there.
I'm the same person here. I'm just go for 10 when I'm over there because after the game.
Yeah. The difference is you get a much wilder Matt, which you get after a really bad loss, and he's had time to let it fester. But yeah, thank you for joining us. I don't think I have. I always feel like I'm forgetting something. But on the way out, thank you for showing up. We'll be back next Monday. We'll probably be talking about Crystal Palace and maybe anything, all the craziness that happens during the international break or in general from Monday to Monday. Arsenal talk there'll be something for us to talk about. So we'll talk about that then. We'll see you again on Monday. And like I like to say, life is a journey. Don't waste the trip. Enjoy the ride. And we'll see you again. We'll see you next Monday. All right, everyone. And we're going to head out of here. And we'll talk to you then. Later.